thought that since you guys liked the first part of the fan fiction that I read, that I would reread it with my new microphone, and so that your ears wouldn't be destroyed. Okay. Enjoy. Magical. That's the only way I can describe Blake Belladonna's belly button. Colors I've never seen before or could imagine that were possible. Kingdoms and realms that were simply implausible. Beasts and wonders that, in those precious few instances, too divine for my mortal thoughts. Just magical. My tongue swirled in her lint and umbilical residue. Soft small hairs tickled in my tongue as it ran across her pale smooth skin. It tasted so raw and fresh and delicate. Things you would never associate with a black cat. It started as a joke. I had recently learned what a raspberry is. When you blow someone's belly button, it's supposed to induce a tickling sensation. That's a tongue twister. She was sitting alone in the library, comfortable reading a book, when my devilish side took over. I just wanted to play a harmless prank. She has good reflexes, but my instincts were better. And when my mouth connected with her belly button, oh my, every nerve electrified. Blake, I breathed when the magic faded away. The dream world of bright colors and music and harmony evaporating away into memories. What was that? Maybe it was fear I saw in her eyes, or maybe surprise and saw shock. Maybe it was fear I saw in her eyes, or maybe surprise and shock and confusion. Regardless, she would tell me later. My eyes are full of lust. Whatever it was, I had to experience it again. So in the middle of class, we seated next to each other. Rather, I seated next to her, since she had taken up the habit of avoiding me since the incident. I slipped my hand onto her thigh and worked my way upward. Professor Port was giving another boring story. Blake was panting like a beast in heat. My hand gently grazed her undergarments before undoing a single button. I was in. They say sometimes you feel like a cat was in your shirt. Well, this time I was the hand in the cat's shirt. It's funny, I promise. My fingers ran over her stomach. I leaned over so that to others it would look like I was merely looking at Blake's notes and asking a few questions, as I whispered my sweet nothings to her. I want this. I want this, Blake. Do you want this? Blake never denied me, so I never stopped. She covered her mouth, did her best to not make any sounds. A few whimpers and a bright red blush escaped her hands, though. That's fine, nobody's awake in class anyway. I nibbled on Blake's soft, pulpy ear. Let me have it, Blake. I want to taste your belly button. I think it was then I thought perhaps I had an addiction, or rather, Blake was an awfully willing supplier. Working my finger into her belly button, I felt some soft mush. Withdrawing my finger, I sniffed it, and it was immediately repulsed by the sense of concentrated sweat and skin cells. It was Blake's belly button lint. The smell was glued to my fingers. Blake looked at it. I looked at her. Her mouth said something of disgust to me. Anything from her could truly never be disgusting, so I ate it. With a smack of my lips, I finished the tiny morsel in an instant, and by the heavens above, there were talking cats and castles and princesses and damsels and knights and tournaments and a world that connected east and west. It was full of beasts and demons, but also hope and light, a magical world full of ninjas. It was the greatest. There was talking cats, castles, princesses, damsels, and knights, and tournaments, and a world that connected east and west. It was full of beasts and demons, but also hope and light, a magical world full of love and ninjas. I was the greatest warrior of this realm. For what felt like an eternity, I feasted and drank to my heart's content in the brightly colored realm. Every wound, every cut, every injury was gone in an instant as my body became loose and weightless. But none of the citizens of this world whose name I could barely remember, with faces so distorted. There was only one I distinctly remember, Princess Balake. She, her, oh my princess. Pyrrha, you're sweating. Are you okay? Jean's voice broke my dreams. He placed a cool hand on my forehead. Holy cow, you're burning up. Come on, I'll take you to the infirmary. Oh, thanks, John, I murmured. It's fine, came a soft voice. I'll take her. It was Blake's. Soon we were walking down the hallway, my weight leaning against hers. Nobody thought it was strange since I was physically weakened and coughing every now and then. That belly button lint is strong stuff. Did it taste good? Huh? Blake had asked me a question. Did it taste good? She repeated. It was magical, I said with a smile. Naturally, the nurse had taken the day off early, and nobody was in the infirmary. Taking a bed, I thought I'd take a short nap. Blake closed the infirmary door around my bed. What did you see? Huh? What did I see? Blake's voice quivered. Did you see something horrible when you tasted my... Did you see anything? What I saw I wanted to see again, I said softly. Blake's fear seemed to vanish instantaneously. Would you like to see something even more desperate? Would I ever? I nodded my head. Whatever power was in her belly button, I wanted more of it. Blake slowly undid her collar and unbuttoned her shirt. She then undid the bow on top of her head. Her twitchy Blake faunus ears were revealed for me to see. Taste my collarbone, Blake offered, pulling aside her shirt. She leaned forward, giving me an excellent vision of her ample cleavage. I shouldn't be one to be jealous, but I had such assets. I shouldn't be one to be jealous, but if I had such assets, I wouldn't be able to wear my armor. But anywho, I pressed my lips and tongue against her collarbone. My mind exploded into an oblivion. I saw a world, a vision of a new future, one where humans and faunus alike cooperated as equals, true equals. Was this what Blake dreamed of? By the time my senses returned to me, my hand was gripped tightly on Blake's hand. I was sweating, so was she. Our sweat mingled. You weren't scared by what you saw? Not at all, no. I want to see more. Blake nodded. She leaned forward, placed a hand over my heart, and then taste my ear. I slipped a hand down her shirt and felt through her lace brassiere. I placed a firm hand over her chest. Blake let out a soft moan, indicating that I had found the mark. Hold it there, she breathed to me. Okay. And then she leaned her head towards mine. It looked like she was bowing as an apology for the shameless position she was forced to do. You look beautiful, I confessed. Her ears twitched from that remark, and I could feel her heart pound harder. My hand began rubbing the area, hoping to massage her agony. I found my way underneath the cup of her brassiere, eventually a small patch of rough skin. I played with it like the devilish girl I am. Pyrrha, stop teasing and taste my ears already, Blake moaned. I decided to be merciful. My lips and tongue pressed against the pinkish exterior of the ear. Suddenly, all sense gone. When I awake later that night, I found my body covered in a blanket, but I was not the only one that blanket covered. Blake was underneath it as well. My hand still clenched over her heart. It felt so wrong to remove it, and it caused Blake to stir. Pyrrha, you're awake. Yes? Blake smiled at me. She propped herself up on one arm and looked at me. So did you like what you saw? Blake's shirt was still unbuttoned and undone. Her brassiere was loosened and revealed a generous portion of pale skin highlighted by the glistening moonlight. I do indeed love what I saw. It was like a dream. Blake purred, and my hand instantly found its way back to her heart. I brought my nose to hers. So tell me, do you like what you feel? Blake purred and purred, saliva dripping from her lips. I like, she whimpered. Those visions I saw were your dreams, the ones I tasted in magical worlds and kingdoms and ninjas and love. Blake looked to me. It's something I'm born me. My parents would kiss there to tease me when I was a baby. They say they saw dreams. As I grew older, I could see they were nightmares, and so I was worried. Don't be, I silenced her lips with my finger. Don't be, I'll be with you. And I with you, she replied. And so we promised ourselves to each other because no one else will in such a cruel world. Blake smiled, a genuine smile. It was pure and innocent, like one's pinkish love. want to sense everything about me, Pyrenicos, Blake mouthed. Her topless form was shining bright in the moonlight. She stood out from the shadows like an anathema to the beasts who haunt it. Yes, I answered breathlessly. Taste my tongue. She opened her mouth, giving me an offering, and I accepted her dreams with all my heart. Well, that was a good book. I'm not going to edit this down. I don't know how long it's been running for. Oh, 10 minutes. That's not that much. Yeah, if you liked this and you like my bassy voice, please consider subscribing, liking, and I'm just glad that you got to see this. So, yay. I'm smiling right now a lot. Bye.